Hello everyone, I am Erika of beadingschool.com and you are watching Coffee Time with Erika, my weekly beady broadcast. Today we are going to talk about the International Beading Week, how beading brings us together no matter where do we live around the world. And I brought you a compilation of some amazing behind the scenes videos about the Czech glass bead making industry. And before we would start, please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me well. I see Ariane and Yosin and Merle, and Mer says, I can see you and I can hear you, lovely lady. Thank you so much, Merle, for letting me know and for your kind words. It really helps me if I know right away that the technical side is all right. Asta is here, Jessica, Judith, Kristen, Sherry, Vania. Welcome, ladies. Kata is here. So good to see you all. Amanda, Linda, wonderful, Sharon. And indeed, happy International Beading Week, because these days, already from the 26th of July until the 3rd of August, we are celebrating International Beading Week. And to start today's celebratory video, I would like to ask you, ladies, what does beading mean for you? How did it enrich your lives? How did it come to your lives? Please let me know in a comment. I would love to read some of your personal stories here during the coffee time video. So really show appreciation for our crafts. While you are typing in your answers, because these are like big questions. How did beading enrich your life, and how did it make it even more colorful, if it's possible? So, or like, how did you find it? Then let me share my story a little bit. So, beads and creating were always around me since my early childhood. However, when I really found how much of an impact this tiny treasure can have on my everyday life, on my everyday well-being, and just feeling truly myself, it came during university. I was preparing for my last exams during graduation year, and they were really, really heavy and stressful. I was double majoring, and it required also lots of hours of research in the library. So during the evenings, I was turning to a creative outlet, and that's when I discovered beads. And luckily, I found out that there are also beads beyond the ones that I already had at home. That's when I found Czech fire polished beads. Shaped beads started to appear a little bit later. I found out about crystals, about Japanese seed beads, and then there was no turning back. By the time that I was graduating, and we had a little celebration at the Cathedra of Linguistics and Hungarian Literature, where I passed my final exams, and my teachers asked, like, okay, so what do you want to do now that you are ready? I said, I want to open a bead shop and I want to bead. And yeah, from that, there was no turning back. And I got to know so many amazing people. Thanks to beads, I got to travel. And most importantly, I also learned to be proud of myself, that I can design. I learned that I can be creative. I learned how important it is to sometimes give myself the gift of relaxing and just playing. And that really was a big gift that was manifesting itself through beads. And after being the perfectionist who I was during my studies, this was a huge, huge change. But now, let's see your stories. And Ariana says, it came to me during lockdown and helps me to keep mental health a bit better. Indeed, like I always say, beads are therapy. This is so true. And Sherry says, I started beading at a very young age. It is that continuous thread through my life, my happy place. Dear Sherry, that is so beautiful. Do you maybe still have some of those older pieces? Amanda says, started making jewelry about 40 years ago to relax when I was programming. Finer beading started at the first Beadworkers Guild get-together. So International Beadweaving and Beadworkers Guild get-togethers, they do have a huge impact. And Jacqueline says, beading school got me through lockdown. You made me feel connected with people who I can share my love for beading. I'm so happy for that, dear Jacqueline. And indeed, we have like these colorful pieces of glass on our bead mats, but for me, they also represent the whole community spread around the world, all of us different, but all of us belonging together. And the thread, what is connecting us, it is indeed beadwork. And Hannah says, until 2007, I thought I had 10 thumbs and could not do anything with my hands. But then I went with a friend to take a small jewelry course, and after that I have been beading, and now I sell my jewelry. Hannah, that is such a beautiful success story. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And indeed, like in my part of world where I was born, it is like so not engraved in society to accept compliments or to tap ourselves in the shoulder. You have to be like very humble all the time. And of course, like being humble is important, but also just recognizing like, yeah, I did well today. We shall do a lot more of that. And I'm so happy that for you it happened through beading. And Antoinette says, for me, where I can do what it is very relaxing. Indeed, we switch off a little bit. And Bernadette says, the joy of creation, making something wonderful out of small things, and a kind of meditation. I did it alone for a long time, but I found this community and it became even more fantastic. I'm so happy that you found us, Bernadette, and thank you so much for your contributions. And Yosin says, I started after stopping my work. I'm doing it now for 11 years and with a lot of fun. And I can see that fun from every one of your jewels, dear Yosin. And Sharon says, I discovered beading at a time in life when I was looking for something new. I have always been a crafter and did counted cross-stitch, sometimes using beads for many years, but got tired of that. Then I found jewelry making with beads. Beading keeps my mind and hands active and occupied. I have also made some really good friends through beading. And I'm so happy for that, Sharon. And Ginny says, I was beading a bit before COVID, but it really picked up the pace during COVID when I started watching beaders online. That's when I got involved with beading school. Indeed, Ginny, you are with us for all through the challenging times during COVID and even more. So indeed, I keep saying it that beading is therapy. Actually, one of my therapists in the past, she said that the circular movements that we make while beading with our hands, that they really have a physical impact on our brains and help us to calm down. That whatever we do in circular motions, like coloring or stirring something when we cook, that it really has an impact. So, International Beading Week, organized by the Beadworkers Guild, is the perfect opportunity to celebrate our beloved craft and to help spread the word about it. For several years now, I have been happy and proud to be one of the permanent ambassadors of International Beading Week. And together with other ambassadors and the guild itself, during this time, now from the 26th of July until the 3rd of August, we bring you all kinds of surprises, including opportunities to bead together, gift tutorials, special offers, and much more. I would like to recommend checking out the website of the Beadworkers Guild and International Beading Week itself. It's very easy, internationalbeadingweek.com. I am showing now the QR code on the screen, and I also posted it in a comment because there are so many programs. It's really worth to look around and find what is speaking to you. Where I see manifesting all this beady love and compassion and connection is where I see it daily, not only during Beadworkers Guild, the International Beading Week, is our very own beading school club. And I would like to thank everyone who is a member. This is membership in the Beading School Club is a gift to everyone who have placed an order in the Beading School bead shop. And every day actually starts with a little tradition of checking out the new jewels that you beaded and like read everything, answer the questions. And I'm so happy that we are still going strong and going stronger day by day. And there was actually something very special happening during last week, thanks to beading and thanks to actually the club. You might recognize these faces. So Aniko, who is also a member of the Beading School creative team, she sent me these pictures, and while celebrating International Beading Week all around the world and with lots of events online too, Aniko actually met three of our other members of the Beading School Club, and she says about it: "This week is International Beading Week, but last week was International Meeting Week for me, and it was truly special. I had the chance to meet some of our beading friends from the club in person here in Budapest." So I'm reading Aniko's words now. What started as an online connection through our shared love of beads turned into real-life conversations, laughter, and inspiration. I spent a wonderful afternoon with Katalin, having a great dinner and beady and non-beady conversation. And then the other day, I met with Anita and Beatrix for a light lunch in the bustling city center. We held a small jewelry show, admired each other's creations, and even tried them on. I had the opportunity to see Bea's winning brooch, which she made for the Rosetta Window Mini Challenge, as well as some of Anita's own designs, which I really liked, especially her beautiful earrings. Kata showed me her bead embroidery pieces, which she made based on my inspirational blog posts on the fairy forest and Rosetta Window themes. I was completely blown away by their creativity, talent, and kindness. It's amazing how beading brings together creative souls from all around the world. No matter where we come from, beads seem to speak the same language, one of passion, patience, and joy. I feel so grateful for this wonderful community and the friendships it creates. Thank you, ladies, for wanting to meet and connect. And Aniko, thank you so much for your beautiful words. And this was, I believe, not the first and not the last time when beading school beaders got together and spent some lovely time together also in real life. I was lucky to meet Nitti several times, of course, Aniko, Kata, we spent time together, but it was truly magical when I saw that Claire from the UK and Niti, who is living in Canada, got to meet. It was magical also when some of us met in the UK a few years ago, thanks to another event organized by the Beadworkers Guild, the Great British Bead Show. There was Mehtab, there was Angelica, there was Claire, even Zuzi with me. And recently, Ariana visited Bratislava and she met Lutka and Zuzi. And before that, Angelica and Zuzi met in Prague. So I'm so happy when I see these kinds of things happening. And on Thursday, please keep your eyes open in the Beading School Club, because actually we are preparing something for you that makes us feel even more connected. So Thursday, I'm coming back with a nice community project during No One Has to Bead Alone. These meetings are beautiful, but of course, sometimes we don't have the opportunity to meet in real life. Thanks to the online world, we can at least bead together during the No One Has to Bead Alone sessions, but also thanks to the many tutorials that you can find at the International Beading Week website. As Beading School kind of being the ambassador through me of International Beading Week, I would like to mention that yesterday we also contributed design to International Beading Week. And let me see the QR code. Here it is. So Zuzi from the Beading School creative team, she created this amazing jewel using some of the Preciosa nuggets, and she is sharing this as a gift on our own website. I posted the link to the Elysian Light tutorial for you, and you can also scan the QR code to find it. Besides the Elysian Light, and Ginny says that Zuzi's design is gorgeous, Sherry also finds it beautiful. I'm so happy, ladies, that you like it. And before I would continue with the videos from the crystal volley, I would also like to point out that besides this tutorial released yesterday, we also have a big bunch of gift tutorials waiting for you at the Beading School Bead Shop. I am showing the QR code and I also posted the link. So now I see that there are 30 gift tutorials waiting for you in the Beading School Bead Shop, and even more on the Beading School blog. But now let's get back to where it all starts, our beads. We already love them. There is no question about that, about our enthusiasm for those tiny pieces of glass. But when we know even more about our beads, we see the faces behind the colors and the shapes. When we learn about the history, then these tiny treasures will bring even more joy into our lives. When I was thinking about it, how the journey to Jablonec and the Crystal Valley deepened my appreciation for our beads. We did this big trip last year together with a photographer and a videographer. Then I had kind of the same feeling how when I moved to Amsterdam 10 years ago exactly, then of course I loved the city at first sight. It's beautiful, it's cute, people are so kind and open minded. But as time has passed and I started to learn about the history, I started to learn about all kinds of fun legends and interesting people who lived here or were born here, then my love for Amsterdam became even stronger. And this is how I also felt about our beads, that of course I have always loved playing with them. But when I learned how they are made, how much work is behind every little piece of glass, and I saw the faces, I shook the hands, sometimes sat down to have lunch or dinner with some of the people who are actually involved, then this love for beads became even stronger. So together with my colleague and friend Andrea, we visited the Crystal Valley in the Czech Republic last year, together with a professional photo and videographer. We made this investment to bring back the knowledge to you, to preserve the history and to keep it alive through the stories that we share, through the beads, but most importantly, through the jewels in the end that are born on your bead mats. And we could make this happen thanks to the community around Beading School. And I would like to thank you here for your trust and your sparkly bead orders and spreading the word about this colorful place, because that is what really made it possible that we took there Mona and Attila Toth, who are our regular photo and videographers who documented as much as they could during those few beautiful days. So today, I would like to share with you some of the videos that we made there to deepen your knowledge and understanding, and also to make having these tiny treasures on your bead mat even more special by knowing their story. So let's start now. So these were the videos about the Czech pressed and fire polished bead making, and I was so lucky and happy that I could try some of the parts of bead making, and it was incredibly hard to master. Would you like to, ladies, ask something about this part of bead making? In the meantime, what came to my mind, that if you were curious what was the hardest, then two things come to my mind. One thing, that when you need to thread the beads on that special ruler, and then push them to the machine in a specific rhythm for a specific time for each facet. Then putting the beads on that ruler, that was surprisingly hard. And then again, when I could try fire polishing, then shaking the beads off the tray, because everything was super hot. That's why I wore those big gloves, and I had to do it again in a specific way so they go where they are supposed to. Both of those processes were surprisingly hard. But besides the Czech uh, Czech glass beads, shaped beads, and pressed beads, we also visited some other organizations, some other companies where different kinds of components are made. Jessica says, that was a lovely video, Erika. Thank you. It looked like you had a lot of fun through the whole week, dear Jessica, and everyone. It was lots and lots of fun. Now let's see something different. I'm sorry, ladies, it seems that I managed to misplace the video that I wanted to show you. Just a moment. Here I need to make a little trick because it was not possible to upload my video. Oh my god, I even need to do it. Sorry, ladies, I messed up a little bit. I need to prepare it one more time. Just a moment, it's coming. So it seems that unfortunately I can't make it work with the Preciosa interview. In that, I will just post the link. I'm really sorry about that, ladies. I thought that it's going to work this way, but yeah, it seems that there is no sound for some reason for the Preciosa video. So I have posted the link for you where you can watch it later. So the video that I was trying to show you, it is actually an interview with the marketing director of the Preciosa Crystal Factory. And she gave a beautiful insight into the history of Czech glass bead making and the Preciosa crystal making manufacturing. And also she was talking about how they invent the new colors, what is the process, what is the biggest challenge. And what I found very interesting that she was talking about it, how they actually try to make and ecologically friendly the glass making industry. And I'm sorry that I could not show the video now, but please follow the link after the broadcast and make sure to listen to it, because this was really a unique opportunity to talk to Eva. And I really appreciate her taking the time. Preciosa crystals are the highest quality, one of the highest quality crystals that you can have in the beading world. And we love using them in our jewels. They come in many different shapes and sizes and colors. And these are the ones actually that Zuzi used for that gift tutorial that she prepared for this week, the Elysian Light. We managed to restock both sizes of the nugget, and there are even new colors of the tiny teardrop cabochons that you loved so much during the previous Rosetta window theme. So it's really worth it to check it out, that what's available there. Besides these two companies that focus on beads mainly, and well, Preciosa crystals also on cabochons, I have here two other videos that give you a sneak peek into something that connects us with the history of the Czech bead and component making even more. And beading school beaders who watch regularly Coffee Time with Erika, they might know what I am talking about. These are components that are the most special for me because they still involve a lot from those very traditional techniques and designs. And of course, on one hand, I am talking about our historic filigrees. I was super happy when I found this company some years ago, and when we visited them in the Czech Republic, then we found out that the designs, that was when I first visited, that was about like 10, 12 years ago, and I found out that the designs that they are using, they literally come from 100 years ago. So what I am holding in my hand on that picture is part of the so-called filigree library. And the designs, they were made 100 years ago, but then unfortunately after the Second World War, they were disposed literally into scrapyards. And the family who later took over the company, they found them in the scrapyards, the stampings that are used to make the historic filigrees. So these are truly connections to what was there 100 years ago. The filigrees are produced newly, so the metal that you receive, it's up to the highest standards of the European Union laws, but indeed the designs come from a very long time ago, and I do have also a little video from that. So when we visit this company, then we literally have to like pull out the drawers and climb up the stairs and find all the treasures that are hiding there. I love using the historic filigrees as connectors in bead embroidery, and also just on their own, they are absolutely beautiful. And I'm really happy that you also appreciate their beauty. And I see questions about some different topics, and I kindly ask you, ladies, that when you have a question that is not connected to what I am actually talking about, that there is always ample space at the end of the video to ask those questions. But please be kind and help me to stay focused and to remain on the topic. So dear Sophie and dear Sherry, I would like to Molly and Sophie, please make a note of your questions, and I will be happy to answer them at the end of the broadcast. In the meantime, Sherry says the historic filigrees are such a high quality filigree, they are a pleasure to bead with. So lovely ladies, do you have any questions about the historic filigrees? Every piece is produced by a stamp, and while cheap substitutions from other countries, they might involve like maybe 1 or 2 stamps of the machine. These historic ones, each design is stamped 5-6 times. The first one makes just the outline, the second one's maybe cut some holes, the third one adds more details, and so on and so on. That's why they are so like substantial and detailed. And besides the historic filigrees, there is another company that we love visiting. We share so much with the kind people who run the company. For example, the love for coffee, but also the love for these very special components. In the meantime, Robin asks, do you have tutorials for bead embroidery with the historic filigrees? Absolutely, dear Robin. I have bead embroidery tutorials with the historic filigrees. For example, the one that you can see on the picture. It's the Janice J tutorial, and I will post a link in a little while. But also, so I found them for you. So Robin, this is the link to the Janice J. And then we also have a playlist on YouTube where you can find all the bead embroidery tutorials. And indeed, some of them involve historic filigrees. Also, the gift tutorial that Susie made for you during the Bird of Paradise theme, and it is available on the Beading School blog. That also involves a historic filigree. And these are just some that came to my mind right away. I'm posting also the link to the blog, and you can go back a few pages to find the historic filigree tutorials. There are many also in the bead shop and also between our gift resources on the blog and on the YouTube channel. But now back to these other kinds of treasures that I was showing you. So these are hand-pressed and handmade buttons and cabochons. And how the very first video explained it to you, that there are different types of pressing the shapes of beads, then I would like to remind you of the three different types. So there were originally clamps, not automated, which needed to be pushed manually. And to each clamp, there was a stamping already attached. So each shape required to have a whole set of clamps that needed to be pushed manually. Later came the opportunity to unscrew the stamping and screw on a different one. So for example, for 10 different shapes, you didn't need any more 10 different machines, all of them having different stampings, but it was enough to have one machine and then change the stamping. But then they still needed that manual work, somebody pushing the stamp. And nowadays there are the automated machines that you saw during that first video. However, this company who makes the Czech pressed, hand-painted, hand-pressed cabochons, they are using the most traditional ones. So when you have a piece of this in your hands, then you can know that each one of them, they were made by a person who still knows how to operate those machines, and there is no mass production. Really, every one of these pieces is made with that historic equipment. And after the shapes are made, then there is a group of skilled colleagues in the factory who take home the cabochons with themselves and they paint each of them separately. So when there are multiple colors, like you see with the dragonflies, then they apply all the colors one by one on top of another. So lovely ladies, do you have any questions about these handmade cabochons that I was showing you now? And I am curious which one is your favorite. I love very much the Bird of Paradise ones that we got during that theme, and also the dragonfly is a big favorite, of course. Which one is your favorite, if you have one? While I am waiting for your answers, then I would also like, for your questions and answers, I would also like to reveal now 2 more surprises that we prepared for you. Because for me personally, the Czech glass bead making is very much connected to shaped beads. And for me, they are not just pieces of glass. They are inspiration in themselves. Very often when I reach to my bead mat and I don't know yet what I want to bead, then the beads start to talk to me. And that is for me the secret ingredient to my creativity. I start playing and then the jewels take shape. I also appreciate them because of the 2-3 holes, because it is very easy, thanks to that, to create sturdy connections, to like bead even something bigger and still keep it strong and sturdy and beautiful. And there are just so many possibilities. So that's why we would like to bring the shaped beads now into the spotlight during now until the next coffee time with Erika. You can shop old and new shaped beads in the Beading School bead shop with 16% off. You need to use the code IBW16, like International Beading Week 16, and you will be able to take off 16% of the price of each shaped bead that we have in the Beading School bead shop until the 5th of August, next week's coffee time with Erika, 5 p.m. Central European Time, 11 a.m. New York City, 8 a.m. California, or 3 a.m. Faye time, New Zealand. Moreover, there is also a gift including shaped beads waiting for you in the Beading School treasury. So everyone who places an order requiring shipping during this time between coffee time and coffee time will also get a nice sunshiny gift full of positivity together with her order. For the gift, you don't need to do anything, just place an order requiring shipping within this time zone. And we have one gift for every beader, not one gift per order. So that's important to note. And in the meantime, I see your answers coming in, that which cabochon you liked. Sophie says that she liked the dragonfly. Miriam says, I love them all and can't decide. Robin says they are all so gorgeous, I can't choose. Yosin also likes the dragonfly. Ariana, yeah, the square ones from Spice Bazaar, those were amazing. By the way, like mostly these types, they are produced as buttons, so you would have like a metal loop on the backside, but we are placing custom orders for you Beading School beaders. So those hand-painted, handmade ones, they come without the loop on the backside, so they are easier to use in beadwork. Martina also likes the dragonflies. And Ginny says, dragonflies are lovely. Is the hand painting fired on? And that's actually a question that I can't answer. I think they are fired on, but I would like to, in this case, please post your question to the club or send it to info@beadingschool.com and we will find it out for sure to make sure that you have the correct information. Bernadette likes the fairy forest. Amy likes the dragonfly. Miriam says beads are like chocolate, making me happy, but with no calories. And Angelina says, how long have canoe beads have been on the market? And how is it I have never heard of them till this team? They are already like existing for a few years, Angelina. I'm not sure about the year. Actually, often it happens that a historic shape is revived by one of the companies. So I'm not sure if this was a completely new shape recently or a revival. But they were never like very popular. But I think there are just so many possibilities. I will grab my favorite pendant where I'm using them. Because thanks to the 3 holes, they are great for building constructions. And indeed you can spot from the pictures that if you were waiting for the canoe beads in different colors, then now they are available and waiting for you. And Carol and Molly both say that they liked the fairy-themed cabochons very much. Those were also incredibly beautiful. And Angelina has an idea for the canoes. She says they are absolutely gorgeous and would be perfect for mandalas and flowers. Indeed. By the way, on Thursday, we can meet again. No one has to bead alone is coming. And this time we are going to bead Aniko's Loni Sarah earrings. And indeed, she also uses the canoe beads. So if you have a feeling that you would like to have them in more colors, then it's also worth it to check them out in the new in the bead shop part of the beading school bead shop. And lovely ladies, now it's time for all your questions. So I think Molly was asking about the Neumann clasp subscription, that how often will we ship a box? And it's every second month. So the next one is coming in August, and then in October, then in December. So it's every second month. And Corinne is asking, I'm still waiting to find out who's traveling to Miyuki. Unfortunately, not me and not Andrea, but we are so lucky that one of our partners, wholesalers, she reached out to us that she is going to Miyuki, and she wanted to bring your questions with her to Japan. Molly was asking about Neumann subscriptions, and then Sophie had a question about the search field and the search bar. I see it now when I am looking at the website from a desktop computer. Are you, Sophie, looking at it from your mobile phone? Is there a problem with the mobile view? I would really appreciate it if you could make a screenshot and send it to info@beadingschool.com, because unfortunately this is something that I am not going to be able to solve during a video, but thank you so much for bringing it to my attention. And Kata, the August one is the second already, so you should have already a Neumann box. If you haven't got it, please reach out to us, because then in that case there was a mistake. You should have it already, the first one with the Rosetta window. And Cosima says, I love Fairy Forest from the cabochons. And Eve says, please show us a good shot of your earrings. Well, I will try. So this was one of the No One Has to Bead Alone tutorials during the Art Deco team. And I don't remember the name of this tutorial. We have 500 tutorials available at the moment. And lovely ladies, I see that more of you have problems with the search bar. So that is really something that we need to know about. So please do send us an email, but I will also make a note of it already. Carol is asking, was it maybe the Sophia pattern? Can be. I will bring up, luckily we have this section divided by the themes. So Sonia, Ariane remembers that it was Sonia. Indeed, Carol also remembers Sonia. I looked up the tutorial in the meantime. Ariana says that she can see the search bar on PC and on mobile. So we really need to know that what are you using, what kind of phone are you using, that you don't see the tutorial from. And Anita is asking, Erika, what happened to the beautiful blue rainbow size 11 seed beads? What happened to them? Is there a problem with availability? Because I would also like to have them again if you are out of stock. And Ariana says, maybe the note for the US beaders is in the way. That can be. So you need to make it disappear. You can cross it out that you already saw. Sometimes we write something important at the top of the web page. And when you saw it, you need to like click the X and then it disappears. So then you can see the search bar or anything else that is important. So lovely ladies, is there any other question that you might want to ask? I would also like to bring it to your attention that since it's International Beading Week, then we have even more community events coming up. And on Saturday, you can enjoy a lunch break with our beloved Zuzi. So this is an opportunity for our Beading School Academy students because, like, let's admit, when we went to school, what was the best part? The lunch break and chatting with our friends. So we also have a lunch break for our Beading School Academy students, and you can access it through the virtual classroom of the Beading School Academy, and Susie will be waiting for you on Saturday. Then on the 16th of August, there is storytelling night. It was supposed to be this last Saturday, but unfortunately there was a serious family issue for Chenge, so she needed to change the date, and we had to postpone it to the 16th of August. So Thursday, no one has to bead alone. Lonnie Sarah with Aniko's design. Then on Saturday, lunch break with Susie. And on the 16th of August, it's storytelling night with Chenge. And Anita says that there were no blue rainbow seed beads in the Miyuki rainbow box. So, dear Anita, sometimes the boxes, they don't have all the colors, but sometimes it's a variation. So sometimes it's a surprise. I don't remember exactly now how it is with the Miyuki rainbow box, but please send an email to info@beadingschool.com. Like, for example, when we have a bicon box and there are altogether 50 colors, for example, produced by Preciosa, but in the box there are like, let's say 10. I am just giving examples, so these are not the exact numbers. So it will be like a surprise 10. So that might be the thing with the Miyuki rainbow box, but please double check it with the treasury. So lovely ladies. Any other questions? Please make sure to download the Elysian Light from Susie. Lately, I would say like during these past years, every time when Susie posts a new design, then I say like, oh my God, I didn't want to. So I always say like, it's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful you have done. And then she comes again with another design. And then I again say like, wow, this is the most beautiful that you have done. So she's like really excelling also as a designer. So lovelies, if you don't have any more questions left, then I would like to thank you for your attention today. Please make the most of the shaped beads special deal. IBW16 is the code until next week's Coffee Time with Erika to take off 16% of the price of all shaped beads, super duos, gem duos, paisley duos, pyramids, everything. And if you place an order requiring shipping, then you will automatically get a cute gift full of sunshine colors. So thank you so much, ladies, and see you on Thursday. Happy beading, and take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you so much for your sparkly bead orders.